What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Roads We've Traveled podcast. My name is AJ Pelletier. Thank you again for tuning in and listening, subscribing, all that great stuff. You know, I appreciate you for it. This is episode 28 of the podcast, and we got a great guest today, which we'll get into in just a little bit. Just want to remind everybody that if you're new to the podcast, you can subscribe to us on any major podcast network. Leave a review and 5 stars if you could on Apple Podcasts. I'd appreciate it. You can also watch the podcast on YouTube. Just head over to YouTube, look up the Roads We've Traveled podcast, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and to get notified every time we drop a new video. You can email the show at roadswe'vetraveledpodcast@gmail.com. You can also become a patron today by going to patreon.com/roadswe'vetraveled. You can help to support the show that way. We got some cool perks for you guys to check out, bonus content, stuff like that. And if there's some other things that you guys would like available on Patreon, let me know. Email us. We're also available on Facebook at facebook.com/roadswe'vetraveledpodcast. Check it out, like the page, stay up to date with everything, and check out our Instagram and Twitter pages as well at RWTPod. And that's going to be it for plugs for right now, at least until the end of the show. So let's get into today's guest. Today is returning guest Sean ORCAdams from ORCumentary and Virus of Ideals. Sean hit me up when he found out I was getting ready to record season 2. Said he wanted to come back on, talk about the album release for ORCumentary's album, Fully Orchestrated, which is out now. Get it wherever you get your music from. He also wanted to talk about, he's been experiencing some ADHD, and he's been taking prescription for it from his physician just to see if it alleviates it. But he says it's been helping a lot with a lot of other things going on in his life with some depression and stuff like that. And he was just very open about it as well. And of course, we talked about ORCumentary a lot. We talked about his new album. We talked about Virus of Ideals a lot. And we got really heavy into like video games in this episode. We got real heavy into Mass Effect, so I do apologize in advance. But we do get a little bit political in this episode too. So I'm very vocal about, especially what's been going on in this country lately. Up at the Senate. But anyway, that's a whole other can of worms. I'm not going to get into right now. But let's just get into it. Let's hit the road again today with our friend Sean ORCAdams. Check it out. Welcome to the Roads We've Traveled podcast, episode 28. My name is AJ Pelletier. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and subscribing and liking and sharing. I appreciate it. Thank you all very much. Keep it up. We got a great guest today and returning guest today, my friend Sean ORCAdams from ORCumentary and Virus of Ideals. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me back on.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. How have you been since the last time we chatted?
I'm trying to remember when that was that we talked last.
I think you were episode 17, and I was just listening to it the other day at work, just to think back of our previous conversation and stuff like that. But I forget exactly when that was. I know it was at some point last year, but
it was after the ORCumentary single, right? Because I released a single last. Okay. I've actually been super well. I'm kind of getting at the end of a super busy cycle. I recorded, promoted, and released a new ORCumentary album, which consumed basically the whole process took like a year. Because I started working on a new album like last January, and I just released it last week. So it's nice because it's been all consuming, just promoting and everything. It's
no, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. No, I've been excuse me. I've been seeing a lot of your posts and everything like that, and congrats on the album release, by the way. Fully Orchestrated is out now from ORCumentary. Definitely check it out. we can plug it at the end of the show as well too. But yeah, man, you've been really busy. Congrats on the album, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's really been a long time coming. It's funny, I might have mentioned this last time we talked, but I first had the idea to do an album called Fully Orchestrated in the symphonic style about orcs and everything, kind of when I first started ORCumentary, like like 12, 15 years ago, give or take.
Right.
And it just never worked out to actually try it until now, because I initially wanted to do an EP where a lot of songs were re-recorded with actual guitars and with, much better instruments and everything, but it didn't really work out this time. But the opportunity presented itself for me to do something completely different. And I'm really glad with how it came out.
I'm glad, man. I'm excited. I've been checking out a few tracks already, and it sounds fucking great, man. So,
Yeah.
I did see that video. I did see that video that you released. Was that the surprise cover that you were talking about on the last episode?
Yeah, Into the West.
Yeah.
Oh no. So the surprise cover was Where There's a Whip, There's a Way.
Okay.
I got the idea to do Into the West from a consultant I've been working with, who's helped out a lot with promotion and all that kind of stuff. And it was his idea to do a cover of Into the West. But the cover that I referenced, because Into the West is not on the album. That's just a free download. But
okay.
But Where There's a Whip, There's a Way, that was the surprise cover I was referring to.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, my bad. But it's all good, man. It all sounds great. I loved how you presented Into the West too, where you're just standing up against the wall in a suit and you're just reading from a book or something. I was like, that's really nice, man. That came out really awesome.
Yeah, it's I had more grand ideas for what to do for the video, but self-releasing an album is really expensive and really time consuming. So it was something that I was putting off for a while. Like I recorded the cover at the same time I was doing the rest of the album, but in terms of making a video, I didn't do that until I didn't actually film the video until the weekend before the album came out, because it was just with everything else going on, it was just something I really dreaded doing. Because I don't have too much experience with video editing and all that, so so with that aspect, and I never made a music video myself before, so it was kind of daunting, but it ended up being a lot of fun. It was just so ridiculous.
Right. That's kind of how it was for me when I first got into video editing, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm like way over my head right now. And then the more I researched and did tutorials and practiced and just messed around, the better I got at it. So it definitely is a lot of fun once you get the gist of it, the thing I dread the most is video editing these podcasts, because I got to clip, when one person's talking, I got to crop and clip it so they're expanded, you know what I mean? And then dive back to, the full discussion and this, that, and just switching back and forth could be kind of tedious at times, but it's fun. So, but anyway, so you got the album out right now. You said something the other a few weeks ago that you got vaccinated with the COVID vaccine. How are you doing now?
So I was lucky. I was able to get the vaccine early through my wife's employer, but it wasn't too bad. I think my symptoms definitely weren't severe. Like the day that I got it, my arm was sore, and that was mostly it. But the next day, I was really tired. Like towards, I ended up going to bed very early, and I was a little. It wasn't that I was. I'm trying to think of what else was
fatigue.
I think partly was fatigued. Part of it was that I actually went out that day. I mean, I haven't like a lot of people, are not doing anything at all during the pandemic, and a lot of people are just living their lives like normal. And I haven't really been anywhere fun in a year.
Right.
You know, like anywhere that isn't like the studio or work or going to a store.
Right.
But my wife and I went out the day after to Mohegan Sun. The only reason we went is because I read about the precautions they took are, I don't want to say they're excessive, but they're beyond what the average place is doing. And, you know, like this was the day after I got vaccinated. So it was,
right.
I ended up, like, towards the end of the day, I was really, really tired and, fatigued and all that kind of stuff. Like, but I think if we hadn't gone out, like, it wasn't like we had a big day, you know, we walked around a bit,
Right.
we went to eat somewhere, but it's just going crazy, not doing anything at all, for a whole year, essentially nothing fun for a whole year.
And tell me about it.
So,
well, I mean, was it just the fatigue, or did you get any like headaches or anything, or any irritation around the injection area? Because I know that was, in some cases, those were some reactions to the vaccine.
No, nothing like that. No, like reactions, I guess, if that's the term. Yeah, it was just, I guess it was like, fatigue, maybe some headache, some, I don't want to say feverish, but I was a little like cold, like wearing a hoodie in my house, and I was still like pretty cold. And I went to bed early that day and just put a crap load of blankets on, but I ended up sleeping it off. Like, once I woke up, I think all of that was gone.
Did you already get your second dose?
No, that's in a couple weeks. Okay. I'll be getting that.
Would you get the Pfizer or the Moderna?
Moderna.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a preference.
Okay.
I didn't have a preference. They just said, okay, you're going to take X. And I guess if I wanted to say, oh, no, I want the other one, then.
Right. Well, I mean, hey, good for you, man. What were you going to say?
Yeah. No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, hey, good on you, man, for getting vaccinated. I'm still waiting. I like, we talked off air. I work in manufacturing, and we're still waiting to hear about when we're getting ours. I feel really bad because my boss, he's battling cancer. He was basically denied early access to the vaccine when he should be at the top of the list. You know what I mean? Like, he's battling. I'm pretty sure he's battling leukemia or it's some sort of blood type of cancer. I didn't want to go too deep into it with him because I could tell he's not really comfortable talking about it, but I know he's been doing chemo now for about a year now. So, but I just don't understand why he wouldn't be at the top of the list. But like, the whole way like the vaccine has been dealt with from the last administration is fucking crazy. Like, they have so much catching up to do with this new administration, and I feel really bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is weird, because it's supposed to be the first wave was like people over 75, healthcare workers,
right,
and people who are immunocompromised. Like, I don't know. I suppose he only knows for sure, but I mean, if it's something like getting the shot would complicate leukemia treatment, or
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know, but anyway, I mean, I'm hoping by the time summer comes, I'll be able to have mine, and my family as well too. But we'll see. I'm not really looking to go to concerts anytime soon. I was supposed to go to see Disturbed and Stained this summer, and I think it's gonna get rescheduled again. I don't think they're gonna reopen the Meadows anytime soon, especially when the vaccines haven't rolled out yet. And I'm trying to sell my tickets at this point because it's already been rescheduled once already.
Yeah, it's I can't imagine. Well, I mean, every now and then you see stuff for whatever live events happening, and even in Connecticut, I sometimes see people like, oh, I'm at whatever concert, and they have like, I just don't like. I did, like I said before, I did go to Mohegan Sun. The only reason I felt comfortable going there is because they're doing a lot more with ventilation. Like, a lot of these, that is what makes a difference for me, because it's airborne, because it can linger in the air for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I think it'll be a while before I feel comfortable going to a restaurant that is not like that. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, like, I've been to a few restaurants during the pandemic. I've stayed stayed away from people, and they had the barriers up and everything like that. And I would wear my mask most of the time too, you know what I mean? Unless I was like eating or something, then I would kind of move it. But other than that, like I never really stayed long. It was just something to do, to like get out and do something, clear my head a little bit, you know what I mean? Like I totally get it. And but I don't go out much at all besides work these days. So it is what it is. But
it's really hard. Like, I mean, I might have said this last time, but I mean, I'm lucky that I'm still, I still have my job, I'm still getting paid and all that, but it's really hard when you don't have any like fun things to offset the usual work stuff, so it's kind of like, you know what I mean? And I forgot, I did so I did go to eat in a restaurant once since this whole thing started, and I think that was 3 or 4 months ago. But we went like right when they opened,
right.
So that's the thing, is that it's like on a Friday night, they have like all the barriers and everything, but it's still, I mean, everyone deals with it in a little bit of a different way, and you have to assess your own risks and all that kind of stuff and all that. But I mean, that's just mine, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I live alone, and I don't, share anything with, anybody other than, my cat. She lives here, but she's a freeloader. So I mean, but I mean, like I the only people I see are my coworkers, and if I go out or anything like that, like I don't have to worry about getting anybody sick, because like I said, I live alone. So, I mean, I talk to my family all the time, but I don't go and see them as much because I'm just afraid of getting them at risk or anything like that. I actually had a coworker from my main job. I'm going to not mention his name or anything like that, but he got COVID, I want to say like 4 weeks ago, and he just came back to work like last week or something like that. But he was an idiot about it. Like I think it was his sister-in-law that tested positive for it or something, and he knew about it and still went over to her house and had dinner with them and caught COVID. And I'm like, you, sir, are probably the dumbest person ever. Like you're in your 60s. Like he played it off like during the whole thing too. He was like, everyone's gonna get it, it's not gonna be a big deal, I'm not gonna wear a mask, this, that, and the other. And then he caught COVID like an idiot. And ever since then, like he's been back at work, he's been masking up, he's been wearing gloves, and I just look at him and I just shake my head. I'm like, you're such a dumbass. Like, why would you put yourself at risk? You're in that category where it could be more harmful to you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's just something I don't like. It just seems like so many people, nothing is a problem until it affects them personally.
Right.
Like I guess I always think of like, it's kind of an unrelated example, but like what you were saying with, like, oh, COVID's not real, and then he gets sick, and oh, it's real, I better take it seriously. Right. But I even think of, I feel like I hear these stories all the time where it's like a lawmaker is anti-gay, and then their son comes out as gay, and then it's like, oh well, now I'm all for. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't understand the lack of maybe, I don't know if empathy is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Or understanding, or just not caring about, it's just everyone is out for themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But anyway,
we really, this country really failed this pandemic. I'm sorry. Like, if a zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow, we're all screwed. But anyway, I saw something that you posted the other day, that you were dealing with ADHD or ADD, and you were taking medication for it. What's been going on?
So yeah, this is something I've thought about for a long time. I've always felt like something was a little off with who I am, and how I do whatever and in my life and all that. And I think it just kind of, like it just kind of got to a tipping point, like, I don't know, a couple months ago. And I was just like, I really should, I looked into some of the, I don't know why ADHD like got in my head, like, oh, I wonder if I have ADHD. And like, I looked at, and so many of the symptoms described how I had been feeling my entire life, like things that had been holding me back. And So like a few weeks ago, I went to see, well, yeah, I Skyped with a doctor about it. And it's, I mean, it's not 100% like I'm not diagnosed with it yet officially, but they put me on a medication as a trial, and I have a follow-up scheduled for a couple weeks. So it's not like 100% official, but I would be very surprised if I don't have it, because it's just so many of the symptoms as an adult just fit me to a T. Like so many things that I felt like I couldn't control about.
Like what kind of symptoms were you having?
Let's see. What are some good ones? What are some good ones? So it's like, and this is something I've noticed on podcasts like this and on interviews and everything, like the tendency to overshare, making careless mistakes. Like there would be times at work when, just something completely obvious would like I would overlook it. And it's just, an example my mom always likes to use is when I was very young, doing laundry, my mom would say like, oh, can you do the laundry? Put the clothes in the dryer. And I was like, yeah, put them in the dryer. Well, did you turn the dryer on? Nope. Because it's just one of like a careless, like it's one like obviously when someone tells you to put clothes in the dryer, you're going to put them in the dryer and turn it on. Right. But as somebody, but that's like a careless mistake like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not sure if you understand what I'm talking about here, but it's just
a little bit of forgetfulness, or like, maybe your mind is just wandering somewhere else at the time that you're doing it. And you're like, oh, I did forget to do that. I don't know why I forgot to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. And like, lack of focus, misplacing things.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of things. And I felt like the ADHD feeds into a lot of other things like, maybe some depression or, anxiety, whatever. But I did start taking a medication, and I've noticed a difference. I think I'm a bit more focused. I'm a bit less gloomy at times. So I like to think that it is working. So
well, that's good. That's good. How long have you been on it for now?
About a week.
Oh, okay. What is it? Like Adderall or something?
No, what was it called? I can't remember what it was. Oh wait, let me look at my because I sent it to because someone else was asking me what it was, and
well, it's all good. Well, I mean, I'm glad it's working out for you.
Propion HCl. Propion HCl XL. It's technically a depression medication, but I think there's something about it that also helps with focus. So
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yeah, this is just like the first.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's also a drug that's helped. That's also used for people to quit smoking, because my brother was on that for a while too, and it was also an antidepressant, if I remember correctly. But it didn't really do much for him though. Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad it's working for you though. That's awesome. So we talked.
I mean, go ahead.
Well, that's good.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. I'm glad there's no negative side effects, so that's awesome. So we're talking about the album released a little bit too. The album's out right now from ORCumentary, fully orchestrated. And we talked a little bit about what day was it released? I forget.
It was released February 5th, so that was the Friday, last Friday.
Gotcha.
Although by the time this is released,
it'll be out probably about a month by the time this episode airs. So, because I'm pre-recording a bunch of episodes for
February
next
5th. Then
Nice. So let's talk about the halftime show. What you did another halftime show this year, correct?
Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
So that was it was a little different than previous years. So before, I just set up my phone and just kind of performed that way. But I got a new camera. Actually, it's right over here. This is the Zoom Q8. This is it's a camera that's meant for musicians. It's not like 4K or anything. Like it's pretty high quality.
1080p.
And it's custom. Yeah, it's at least that. You know, it's got some plugins in the back so that you
Oh,
can
nice.
plug a microphone and an audio cable directly in, or you know, this is even a built-in microphone
Oh, you got a boom mic.
where I filmed
Nice.
some of my other videos. Yeah. And so this year, what I did, I actually pre-recorded it because unfortunately, this camera is not really good for live streaming.
Mm.
I've tried to do live streams before and I've had some issues with it. So I did pre-record it, but there was definitely a different setup. It was much more high quality. And this year I did it on YouTube instead of on Facebook.
Nice.
So it was, I felt like it might have reached some more people, and it was cool to watch it along with the audience that was watching it. And, you know, they're commenting on it and I'm responding to the comments in real time. So it went pretty well. You know, I haven't actually done a live performance, well, since the last halftime show,
Right.
I think. So, you know, like there are things that could have been a little bit better, but I think it was still, you know, it was a lot of fun. It seemed like a lot of people tuned in.
So you think going forward, this will probably be the way for you?
Yeah. You know, I might even do other live stream concerts this year because, you know, it's something that's very doable the way that, you know, with my setup, you know, I just had it in my basement. I had the backdrop to make it look a little cleaner because, you know, my basement is unfinished.
Right.
And pre-recording it was great because my team was actually in the Super Bowl this year. So it wasn't like, oh, well, I gotta, you know, cut in and out to get all set up and everything.
Right.
So that was kind of cool.
There you go. Well, I'm sure it was a lot better than the halftime show we got this year. So
Yeah.
I heard positive and negative things about the weekend, but you know, and then I saw pictures and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You know what's funny is I found out, so my band Virus of Ideals has a song called Save Your Tears, and The Weeknd has a song called Save Your Tears.
Oh no shit.
And it has like, you know, 100 million views on YouTube, and I think it's a relatively recent song. And you know, Save Your Tears, like the Virus of Ideals song Save Your Tears came out almost 5 years ago, but it's just funny, I guess, because you know, when I'm coming up with these song titles, I try to think of things that are more interesting,
right?
Or maybe a bit more unique. So it's not like, oh, you know, how many bands have a song called Resistance? You know, like 8,000 bands, 8 million bands have songs that's called like Resistance or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just funny, I guess. It's just funny that it's like a mega hit, and it's like, I don't even know what the equivalent would be. Like if we had a song called like Purple Rain or something, you know, they're like, oh, are they copying The Weeknd by having a song called Save Your Tears? Or, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, did you get any views from it or on YouTube for your Save Your Tears? From people accidentally maybe clicking on that? No.
I don't think so.
Oh, I mean, it couldn't hurt, you know? Like, like, oh, what's this? Like, I meant to watch The Weeknd, but oh, what's this band? Virus of Ideals. Well, they sound pretty good.
Well, at least the first couple pages of results is not here. I would be very surprised if anybody said, "Oh, I came across your stuff looking for The Weeknd."
Yeah. Well, hey, you never know.
You never know. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about Virus.
Funny,
yeah, talking about Virus of Ideals here. I know you said the last time we talked that you guys are working on new music. What's going on with that?
So we're still putting the album together. We still have a fair amount left to do. We did guitar recordings for 7 songs. There's 3 more that we need to do. Did a little bit of vocals, but it's hard to coordinate, and you know, it's just, you know, especially with everything going on right now, you know, we're doing the best we can, really hoping we can get it out this year, but the way things are going, I'm not even sure if it will be done this year either. You know, we're trying to get in the studio like once a month, which doesn't sound very frequent, but the studio we go to is in Massachusetts. So at least from where I am, it's like an hour, 15-minute drive. It's farther for some other people in the band.
Right.
So, you know, coordinating and, you know, being safe and all that. And it's, you know, it's a challenge. You know, we'll get there eventually, but
right. Well, there's no need to rush.
Slowly plugging away.
Exactly. There's no need to rush. I mean, like, I'm basically in the same boat right now. I was supposed to work on new music with a bunch of guys over the break, and it didn't happen. But I mean, like, it's people, they got lives, they're busy, and I understand. We're still gonna be working together on stuff eventually. I'm just waiting on the guys to like send me some stuff. But I mean, I'm not in any rush to like put out an album right now. You know what I mean? Like, I want to take my time with it and make sure it's perfect, before I release it or even release a single or anything like that. So, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
there's no rush, man. Like, take your time with it. That's the great thing about music. But I'm glad you guys are still working on music, though. That's awesome. I definitely enjoyed seeing you guys play when I caught you that time at Cherry Street. What kind of difficulties did you go through with the ORCumentary album? Like, were there any like rough patches or anything like that? Like, I know you said you put a lot of stress on yourself and stuff like that, but I mean, like, were there any like tough times or like good times with that album while working on it?
Well, starting with, I guess, the bad stuff first. It was a little challenging trying to figure out the track list. There were 3 or 4 songs I made partial demos of. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, so ORCumentary is my like fantasy themed metal project with lyrics about orcs. There's an element of comedy to it. And this latest album, instead of having electric guitars, there are some new songs, but a lot of it is songs that have been rearranged to have only orchestral music. So that's like drum, like a timpani, strings, brass, all that kind of stuff. So finding other old songs to give that treatment was a bit of a challenge. Like, I was worried I wasn't going to have enough songs at first. I wasn't initially planning to have as many songs as there was. I was thinking of having it be an EP, but the music consultant I was telling you about, he suggested adding another song or two and just calling it an album. It's not incredibly long, but you can still call it an album with a certain number of tracks. So that was a bit of a challenge. There were like 3 or 4 songs I did partial arrangements of, and then it got to the point where I was like, this isn't really working. And I was really on this timetable where I really wanted to put this album out as soon as possible. I didn't want to rush it, but I hadn't put out any new music from any recorded project since 2016, since the Virus of Ideals EP. So, I had a bunch of setbacks with the band, and I just really wanted to make something, I wanted to have something new. So I think there were times where I was worried that, I wasn't worried that I wasn't going to have enough, because I have a lot of ORCumentary songs. There's got to be at least, I don't know, like, I can't think of the number off the top of my head, but it's like almost 40 ORCumentary songs. So, I figured there would be enough, but I didn't want to like feel like I was settling, like, oh, this arrangement is kind of half decent, so I can, I wanted them all to be arrangements I was really happy with, and that's what I ended up with. So that was good. Recording the vocals was a lot of fun. It was so ridiculous. Like doing the Into the West cover was it took me a few takes to not laugh when I was performing, because so basically, for anyone who doesn't know, in like an orc voice, I sang Into the West from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And it was just so ridiculous. Like, I think probably the first 5 minutes or so, I couldn't really do anything because I was laughing so much. But it was also really challenging, because trying to scream and sing at the same time and try to hit notes, it actually really hurt my throat a lot. So there were times where I had to kind of compromise on that. But but it was really cool working with so the studio I went to, Sonic Titan. I worked with Brian Westbrook, who is also the drummer in Virus of Ideals. And he had some good ideas for tweaking the vocal arrangements. And he also, when we recorded The Time of the Orc Has Come, he said that he thought that the song needed something. Like the original arrangement, it was shorter. Like I added another, like an interlude, like an instrumental break, which kind of broke the song up a little bit and helped build up to that last chorus,
right?
The chorus per se. And that was it was his idea to, well, he said the song needed something. So, record all the vocals, and then, a couple of days later, I worked with the song a bit more and it came out much better. So it was cool to get a little bit of outside opinion on some of the stuff, on some of the songs.
There you go.
Let's see. So I think in terms of, I guess, other struggles and all that, so there was a lot of, if anybody followed the ORCumentary pages, there was a lot of promotion that needed to be done. A lot of bands, they just post once a week, or not even that. They have a new album coming out and they only post once a month.
Or like me with like me with 2 podcasts, and I have so many social media handles that it's hard for me to keep up. I'm still looking for an assistant, by the way. Anybody out there that wants to help out, hit me up. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. But I know that a lot of musicians that are on my level per se, like smaller time musicians, they have this anxiety about posting too much. Like they think that they're going to be annoying, or that they're afraid to ask people to buy their music or what have you.
Right.
And what a lot of people need to understand is that the algorithms work against you and all this stuff. So if you post about your album every single day, chances are the average person is not going to see every single one of those posts. Someone might only even see one of those posts. So it was, I learned a lot from this whole promotion cycle, like different ways to promote, because you basically want to find different ways to promote the same thing. So, promoting the album, maybe I'll share a picture from the studio, or maybe I'll share the album artwork, or maybe, just think of what professional bands do. They have all these behind the scenes videos. They have, someone showing off their guitar. Like, this is the guitar I recorded the new single on, pre-order the new album below. Or, there's just, it was a big learning experience, but it was fun, but at the same time, it was kind of grueling in a way, because it was like you had to post almost every single day, and it doesn't sound like a lot on paper. It doesn't sound like, posting on social media or whatever, but like coming up with these ideas, and always like just always having the album in my head, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like always having that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So,
like social media it's a tool, but it definitely works against you in ways too, like you were saying with the algorithm. Like I had to learn a lot about that myself when I went to those conferences at Elm City Music Fest all years ago. And we were basically being told like how to promote yourself on social media, how to utilize it as a tool, and not just for like selfies and all the other bullshit or whatever, but like also a big thing that they reiterated was the whole buying likes is a big no-no, because labels, first of all, labels don't really care how many likes you have. And then when you're buying likes, they can tell who the bullshitters are compared to the real people, because like you're saying, if you post something and you're only getting a certain number of likes, like say your page has 150,000 likes, you know what I mean? People are following your page, but you post something about your band saying, hey, new album's out right now, this, that, and the other, go buy it here. And you get 2 likes on that post in a matter of days. Like, clearly something's wrong there. And that usually raises a red flag with labels and stuff. They're like, oh, this guy bought likes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe that this band has 150 followers. You know what I mean? So that's just one thing that they look out for. So,
for sure.
Yeah. I hate social media, but I have to use it for a tool. You know what I mean? Like I stay in touch with family and friends up there, but other than that, like I use it to promote my podcasts and whatever projects I'm working on, or if I'm Twitch streaming and stuff like that. But other than that, like I try to stay off social media because I just hate it. Like, especially with everything that's been going on the past few months, I'm just like, oh my God, like I need to turn my phone off. You know?
Oh yeah, I totally know what you mean. I think probably what more people should be doing is not be afraid to unfollow people,
Right.
unfollow certain pages, to just not tolerate. Like there's the whole, oh, you have your echo chamber, whatever. It's like, I don't go onto social media because I go there as like an escape,
Mhm.
and I don't want to have like negativity or antagonism or whatever bombarded at me.
Right.
So I mean, sometimes it is really hard to not get sucked into that. You know what I mean? Like to get sucked into the arguments or whatever. And I'm not as good about it as I wish I was, but I know I've unfollowed or unfriended a lot of people, a lot of pages,
Yep.
and I mean, social media should, like you want different perspectives, but it's generally not, you're not going to convince anyone on social media that you're right and they're wrong.
Exactly. And if we're going to jump into this rabbit hole, taken for example here, ginacarr, I forget her last name, but she played Cara Dune in The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
She was just recently fired from Lucasfilms for her views and political views on social media. And people have a right to say whatever they want, but it's freedom of speech in this country. But if you're going to use your platform to promote like anti-trans, this, that, and the other, and fuck wearing masks, and all the other bullshit that she spewed out, the company that hired you, they have the right to like not have to keep you around, because they have a different belief system for what they put out. You know what I mean? Like when you sign a contract saying this is what we're doing, these are our policies, this, that, and the other, and then you go around saying, well, fuck gays and fuck blacks and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, of course, my ass is gonna get fucking fired for that. You know what I mean? Like, I would never fucking do that. So, and all the crap that she's been spewing about cancel culture, this, that, and the other, like, people have rights to do that, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not always about what you have your beliefs. Okay, cool. They may be wrong in my eyes, but I'm not going to tell that to your face. You know what I mean? I might have an argument with you about it if you're going to get in my face about it. But I mean, it's not what I believe in. And if you want to stay on your crazy little island over there, then be my guest. You know what I mean? But like, it's crazy. But we're in a country. Our country is full of progression right now. Like I'm seeing the change, and I see how far things have changed in a positive way. Like, I don't want to say cancel culture or anything like that. I just think progression is finally happening, and we're finally saying no to a lot of these people, and it's pissing them off. I mean, like we saw what happened on January 6th when the president incited that riot, and all these people crying over a stolen election that never happened. Like,
well, yeah, it's like, oh, we have the evidence, and well, it never came. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah,
exactly. Like they just keep saying it, or I don't know. It's just like the whole. I mean, I've always thought the whole cancel, like the term cancel culture, like people are like, oh, it's like it's totalitarian or something, but like cancel culture is the most capitalist thing,
right?
Because you think about you say something, and you get backlash for what you say. And, so you post something on Twitter that's controversial. You get backlash from, this is how the cycle works. So a lot of people don't seem to know how the cycle works or how the whole progression goes. Like, it's not like she literally posts something and bam, she's canceled. It's
right.
She posts something. She gets a lot of feedback from followers, from other people on Twitter.
Right.
Media companies cover this because obviously it's news.
Right.
And as this goes, as the noise gets louder and louder, the capitalism comes in. Companies like, oh, you know what? People are not happy with how this person is as a person. This is going to impact our profits if we associate ourselves with this person. So maybe we should sever ties with this person. And in this specific case, I think that she had a lot of strikes. Like, it wasn't just like she said one thing and bam,
Right. They were talking about getting rid of her for 2 years now, they said. like, because she had a few, like you're saying, she had a couple strikes against her already, and she was already reprimanded for the, like, hey, you can't be doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like, these aren't our policies, these aren't what we believe in, and you're working for us, and we're telling you to stop doing that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just yeah, I don't know. I just, a lot of people who play the whole freedom of speech. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean free. Like what that guarantees is that you're not going to get thrown in jail.
Right. Exactly.
That's what the freedom of speech is.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and like you were saying earlier, like, you know, removing people on social media. Like, I've removed so many friends on social media over the past few months. Like, I haven't blocked anybody, but I mean, like, I've unfollowed people. I've, you know, friends that I've been with for years, I've deleted that have come out to be like super racist. And, you know, I don't post a lot of my political beliefs on Facebook, but I mean, like, when I do, it's usually like after what happened with the on January 6th, like, I was very vocal that, you know, yeah, the president definitely did incite that bullshit. Like, and if you think Antifa was behind it, then you can delete me because there's no evidence to show that Antifa did it. So, and I got a lot of shit for that post, and I don't care. I just started, okay, cool. Delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you. Like, I can tell where you stand, and that's cool. If you want to stand on that line, that's great for you, but doesn't mean I need to associate my life around you. And plus, when have we talked other than, you know, you commenting on this post? Yeah, exactly. Like, when have we had a conversation outside of this post? Because I don't remember you supporting me when I was in music or my podcast or anything like that. So why am I still keeping you on my friends list if, you know, we're not really interacting other than you jumping at me for my political beliefs, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I totally know what you mean. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's where I stand. Like, and people listening, they don't have to agree with me, and that's fine. You know, like, I've been very vocal on this podcast in the past that I am a believer in Black Lives Matters, the movement, and where my political beliefs stand. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I know where my political allegiance is, and right now I feel very strongly for Biden and Harris, and I fully support their administration right now. But anyway, getting off that topic, let's get into something more fun, because I know this is going to piss off a lot of people if I keep talking about it.
Yeah. We'll do all the fun, we'll do all the fun stuff now that all of the snowflakes have left.
We talked a lot. Well, you just real briefly, you were talking about Lord of the Rings, and I forgot to mention this the last time you were on. Do you know Chris Millay? He used to play for Fear the Masses. Long time ago.
Can you say the name again? I'm sorry.
Chris Millay. He was the bass player for Fear the Masses back in the day.
I don't know. I think I've only played with Fear the Masses once or twice, and I know I've met Josh. I've met Doug. But it's been a very long time. I don't know if I've met anyone else in the band before.
So the reason why I ask, I'm probably going to bring you on whenever I do another roundtable session, because I want to get Chris on too. Chris was a voiceover actor for a little while when he moved out to California before he came back out this way, and he was actually a voice of an orc for a Lord of the Rings game.
Really?
Yeah, he did it on the episode that he was on last season. He was like, you know, doing his impersonation and how the whole process was.
Do you remember what game it was?
I forget. It was, oh God, I have to ask him.
Was it Shadow of Mordor, one of those?
It might have been that one, but like, he told me, like, when he went into like the whole process of like auditioning for it, like they couldn't tell him like the title of it or anything. They just gave him a script and some lines here, and like, he was reading it and he was like saying like, the Dark Lord, the One Ring, and then he's just like, wait, is this the Lord of the Rings game? And they're like, yeah, we really can't tell you that, but yeah, it is. And he was like freaking awesome. He was freaking the fuck out about it. He was like, oh my God, I fucking love this story. Like,
yeah, that is like, so cool.
Yeah, so like he played a few orcs in the game, like just background orc characters, you know, when you were like battling them or whatever. I'm like, I have to find this game now so I could be like, that's Chris.
That's the dream.
Yeah. But yeah, I totally forgot to mention that to you, and I was like, oh man, like I should tell him next time he comes on the show. But now we're on the subject of video games here. You know, I've been you know, playing a lot more on my my Twitch channel. I've been running through Mass Effect again.
Yeah, I saw you post about that.
Yeah. I'm not liking my playthrough right now. Some choices have ended terribly, and
Yeah.
I almost didn't finish 2 because I was so mad that my Paragon wasn't up enough to like save a few allegiances. So I'm like, fuck this game. And then I started 3, and I'm like, this isn't going great either. Let me just start over by finishing 2 and importing my character. And all this. So it's a lot of technical stuff for my listeners. If I'm boring you, I apologize. But this is a 3-part series game that's a really great game. And I can't wait for the remaster to come out on May 14th because I'm buying the hell out of it because it has all
Oh
the
yeah.
DLC in it. Plus, on top of it, they
Did you see?
announced. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, did you see the deluxe? It's weird how video games now are doing deluxe editions that don't include the game itself.
Right.
But they're doing it's weird, but I think I'm gonna buy it anyway, just because I love Mass Effect so much.
Mm.
And I got into Mass Effect at a point where there wasn't a whole lot of merchandising. Like I think I got into it like 5 or 6 years ago. There was some crazy sale where you get the whole trilogy for $5.
That's
on
awesome.
PS3. Yeah, it was nuts. But this set comes with, among other things, a 1-to-1 ratio size helmet, like the N7 helmet. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I need to get that. It's really cool, but I can't wait for that either. I'm so hyped for that, especially my only concern was that a lot of the remasters are just they make the graphics look a little bit better.
Yeah.
And Mass Effect 1 aged so poorly.
Did you see
the controls really?
Yeah. Did you see the side-by-side comparisons from the original and the remastered? I mean, the graphics do look a little bit better, but I mean, it's still the same. There's not really much they could do in a year, you know what I mean? Like and unless they did like the whole Final Fantasy VII thing where they just started from scratch and redid everything, but I'm still gonna buy
it is. You know? It is a big improvement. Like I know that what else they did the character creation so that it was the same across all 3 games, because if you compare like even like between each game, if you import the same character, it can look completely different.
Right.
When you go on, go from the first game to the second game to the third game.
Right.
For obvious reasons.
I really hope they fix some of the jankiness from the first game, because that's a big reason why I didn't do the first one in my latest playthrough. Because I'm like, I really don't want to drive the Mako because it's so hard to fucking steer sometimes, and then you just get stuck on shit sometimes, and you're just like, like, you know what I mean? But like, I hate that goddamn thing, and I was so glad they got rid of it for the rest of the series. But yeah, I mean, like like I can't wait for that to drop. I'm still hunting around for an Xbox Series X because I want to play it on like a better system and get the full nostalgic feeling and everything like that. I can't wait for the new one that they announced that with Liara, you saw her like dusting off the Ed 7 logo, and I'm like, oh my god, finally, like we're gonna get some sort of closure with the rest of the team and everything, and I can't wait for that whenever the hell that's gonna happen. But yeah, N7 Day this past year was just amazing. I was like, oh.
I think the game the next one is going to be, I feel like Shepard's story is over. I feel like that story is kind of sailed, and it's almost
I don't want it to be.
But I feel like it's gonna, at least from this little teaser, I'm wondering if it's going to be like Liara as the main character, and the course of the game you're trying to find Shepard, and you come across the other characters in the You know what I mean? Like I feel like that.
I wonder how much farther into the future it is from the last game too. You know what I mean? Because it seems like everyone was saying that Liara looked a little bit like she still looked the same, but a little bit older. Like what was the term? Like Samara's character, she was in like this certain stage in her life with being an Asari. And people were saying that Liara was at that point in her life, it seemed like in this trailer. I'm like, how can you tell though? I mean, like it was just like a split second, but okay.
Yeah. It's hard to know.
It really is. But go ahead.
No, if that's the case, then some of the characters might not be alive. Because if you think about some characters, the lifespans. No, but well, it's got to be reasonably close to the end, because you figure Liara must have known where Shepard landed.
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Well, maybe not.
Because there is that spoiler alert. There is that one ending that you get from beating the game if you do everything correctly and you choose the right thing. Where like, I forget which one it is, but there is that little cut scene where like you see Shepard's body, but you don't see his face or anything. You just see it all mangled up from like debris or whatever, and then all of a sudden he gasps for air like he's still alive. And I'm like, oh my god, he's still alive, like, and then it just cuts to black, and you're like, fuck, like, like at the end of it, like, what happens? But yeah,
but, I wonder if, but to do a sequel to the original trilogy, one of the endings has to be canon, which they said they would never do, but because so many people hated Andromeda. What's that?
So many people hated. So many people hated the ending, and they demanded a better game. So then they put out that DLC, that little party DLC that they did, which was entertaining. But it was still like a big like, yeah, no, this is the ending we're going with. Deal with it. And then like you're saying, Andromeda came out, and it was a fucking shit show for the game devs that were like, it's not ready, and publishers are like, no, put it out, it's gonna be great, and like all the crap that happened because of it. I don't know.
I mean, I loved it. I guess I'm honestly, I played through it again like last year or something, and playing through it again, I'm really mad that they just abandoned it, because there was so much potential, and they did a lot. I mean, there isn't really that much that was wrong with it. I think it was like graphical stuff. I don't know if it really was like even gameplay or
it wasn't as bad as Cyberpunk 2077 was, because that one was bad, like game, like console, like crashing bad.
Was it I'm trying to think, was it only like standard PlayStation, like because I have a PS4 Pro, which runs much better than a standard PS4.
It was basically PS4, Xbox One were having all the problems when the game was dropped. PS5 and Xbox Series X were having issues, but not bad issues, but there were still bugs. Apparently people that had it on PC had a better time with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not playing it. Like, it's just, I'll wait until like they finally patch the hell out of it, and it people are like, okay, it's fine now, and then I'll probably look into it. But other than that, like, I'm not gonna waste my money. So many people were disappointed when that dropped. But yeah, no, I I just finally found an N7 hoodie, like a zip up hoodie, and I was like, yeah, I'm buying that just because I'm playing through the series again, and I'm like, there's like no merch, like there's barely any merch out there for this great trilogy of games, and like
BioWare launched a new store, I think, in the past year, and they've been updating it with some good stuff.
I saw some stuff. Did
you see there's a reversible hoodie where it's like Paragon, you like inside out is
That's
Paragon, and like it's so ridiculous. Like I already have so many hoodies, and I couldn't justify getting that, but it was just so cool.
I just needed something, because I was like, I don't own anything like Mass Effect related, and it's such a great series. So I got a decal for my car. I haven't put it on yet. It just says N7. And I got the N7 hoodie with the red stripe going down. So I'm waiting for that to come in. But other than that, like, I'd like to get like a small little Normandy somewhere to put in my collection of crap here in my apartment, just to look fondly on and say, but I don't know. I'm geeking out a little too much on this podcast, whatever. But I'm definitely yeah, exactly. Well, this isn't the league, but I don't care. This is my show. But but I'm definitely getting the remastered when it comes out. I'm gonna play through it all again. So if you're a Twitch subscriber on my channel, I do apologize, but yes, we're running through the whole series again once the remastered comes out. But anyway, I digress. What games are you playing right now?
Right now I'm playing, speaking of remaster, Medieval. I don't know if you ever played that.
No.
It's I don't know. It's kind of a cartoony, like action adventure kind of game. It was originally on PS1, and they revamped. I've never played the original on PS1, but I saw it was on sale, and I was thinking of, like, I remember looking at a video game magazine as a kid and seeing, an ad for this game Medieval. I never had a PS1 as a kid, but I just remember that, and I was, it's pretty fun. It was a bit of an adjustment, because that kind of game is so different compared to the average, like a game like Mass Effect, or what did I beat before? Oh, I was playing Anthem. Speaking of glitchy games.
Oh yeah,
Um,
another BioWare game.
Yeah, but it was before Medieval. I was playing Anthem, and I actually thought it was really good. It kind of, like I know there was a lot of issues when it first came out, but at least when I played it, I didn't have any issues. Like I know that they revamped it, like they put a lot of work into it. It kind of made me think of Destiny, but with flying, I guess, like where you fly around and it's third person rather than first person.
Right. I love how like when that game was announced or whatever, like it's not Destiny, it's not going to be like Destiny, and then like everybody that played it, like this is totally a ripoff of Destiny.
Yeah.
I never played Destiny. I never got into it, but like again, one of my friends was playing Anthem one time on stream, and I was watching him, and I was just like, so what is the concept of this game? Like I don't like, you're in these giant robots and you're fighting these things, like I forget what they call them, but like the only nod to like Mass Effect in that game was they had like a special N7 style armor or something like that I saw. I was like, oh, that's dope, but not enough for me to buy the game, Yeah.
Well, I got it for only like $10, I think.
Yeah.
So, I had been curious about trying it because things like that always, the gaming community is so weird and they just complain about the dumbest things. And, I know that it had a lot of glitches and all that, but I heard that they had put a lot of work into it, and yet people were still complaining. And I mean, I like Mass Effect, and I played Destiny for a long time and I liked it, but I mean, for $10, I mean, I couldn't lose unless if it was so buggy I couldn't even play it,
Right.
But it was good. It was fun. Once you get to a certain point, it's kind of just like playing the same missions over and over again. So at that point, I wanted to move on to something else. But I thought Anthem was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I'll have to check it out one of these days. I'm still looking at like game. I have a ton of games on my Xbox that are just sitting there, for me to play.
Yeah.
And same with my PlayStation. Like, I played a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima, which is a really great game. But I
keep hearing good things about that.
It's a really great story. It's almost like Mass Effect in a way too, because like it chooses like whatever you do in the game affects like how the ending's going to turn out. Like it could be like super bad or super good or something like that.
Yeah.
So I never finished it though. I got to go back and play it, but it almost has like the mechanics in it are a little off sometimes, like kind of like a Dark Souls or something like that, where you're like, you can play it on easy, but you're still gonna get your ass kicked. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, but other than that, I mean, I haven't really played anything else new lately. I just felt really nostalgic lately. I'm like, what? Let me play Mass Effect again because I love that game. My brother got me into that game when I was out from work, waiting to have my surgery done, and I just love that game. It's just like I hate dealing with husks, and like I was streaming last night. This is so funny. I did the mission where spoiler alert, Morden and the genophage cure or whatever, and you're on Tachanka, and like 3 brutes just like popped out of nowhere, and I'm like fucking screaming like fuck, like I'm like running around like like I'm like an idiot, like because those things murder your ass in a heartbeat, and I'm sniping, I'm like ducking and dodging, I got my shotgun out, I'm trying to blast them, and I'm just fuck, and my like controller, I have such a shitty controller, I gotta get a new one, and like disconnects every now and then. I'm like, you'll see it pop across the screen, and the screen will freeze, and it just says, please connect your controller. And I'm like, fuck, like,
yeah.
But it was funny. Last night was funny, but my anxiety goes to the roof with that. Speaking of anxiety a little bit, do you ever play The Last of Us?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I played both of them, the new one and the old one.
Okay. I never played, but I just finished watching a Let's Play of the first one because like everyone was like getting on my ass about it. They're like, oh, you got to play this game. And I'm like, I'm not a zombie game kind of guy. Like I can't play those games. Like I will like, bug the hell out about it. So I watched the playthrough of it and like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a really great game. I would be shitting my pants the whole time, sneaking around. And that's another thing too. Like I hate the sneaking around aspect, because like I just want to get in there. I want to do the thing and move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe explore a little bit, but like I don't want to sneak around all the time and like, because that just makes my anxiety worse. So, but it's such a great story. That game is so well done, and I don't know if you heard that the HBO is making a live action series of it, with Pedro Pascal as Joel, and I forget the girl's name, but she was in Game of Thrones as well.
Mormont,
Thank you.
From Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
the casting seems great. I guess if I had only like, if I had only seen Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones, I was thinking like him as Joel, but he's really done like he's really blown up.
Yeah, I know.
Like doing like the Mandalorian and Wonder Woman, and like hearing him do an American accent is just so wild. Because I still think of him as Oberyn. I'll always think of him as that.
Right.
I haven't gotten into the Mandalorian, but I always.
It's so good. It's so good. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I keep hearing good things.
The first season, like there's like, they're building story arcs and stuff like that for a lot of these characters, and then season 2 is just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Like after every episode, you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And the season finale for season 2, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I was just like, my jaw like dropped. I was like, they did what? Like, holy fuck. Like but yeah, Pedro Pascal is just like amazing. I just saw him in an episode of Burn Notice. I had it on the background of my part-time job the other day, and it was I think it was the one with Bruce Campbell, his own little like movie thing or whatever. It was like the rise and fall of Sam Axe or something like that. And Pedro Pascal was one of the bad guys, and I was like, oh shit! Like I was like, I didn't know he was in this. It's crazy. But anyway, I digress. That's what I've been up to, and you've been playing Anthem like you said recently. Any other games you've been playing, or is that about it?
No, I think I'm almost done with Medieval, and then I think I'm gonna move on to Control after that. That's one of the free games for PS Plus or PlayStation.
Oh, there you Plus. Go. You ever play D&D at all?
They usually. Oh, I have. Yeah, I have in the past. I used to years ago. I used to be part of a group that meet every week, almost every week, and
nice.
We've all kind of drifted apart. But yeah, I used to play a lot.
I just
it's pretty fun.
Go ahead.
No, I used to have a character who was like a half orc berserker. Did I tell you about this? I might have told you about this half orc berserker last time.
I don't think so. I wonder if we.
No, it was funny. This he would have some kind of attack where you basically get so furious and do a ton of damage, but my bloodlust wouldn't stop when the last enemy was dead. So there was a chance that I would attack other people in my group.
Oh god.
So every move I had to roll some kind of pass some kind of check. Otherwise, I would attack my fellow, warriors or whatever.
Right.
So that was fun. That was the most memorable character I had.
I just started playing for the first time ever in my life recently. I joined a group, and they're being kind and helpful and stuff like that. And we meet like once a month online and play it. And my character, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, I'll just be a ranger, because that's the only thing I know, I guess, from like Lord of the Rings, other than like orcs and elves and stuff like that. But I just didn't feel like being an orc or an elf. And so and they were like, all right, so come up with a background. I'm like, oh god, I'm a ranger who has a taste for the finer things. He likes his ales, preferably his IPAs. He has a tool from a wizard called a vaporizer, which he uses more than his pipe. And he has some PTSD for some reason, and he also enjoys the posters around town that he sees of women yelling at cats. I believe they call them a dank meme. And I said that in the whole bio. And my buddy's like, he just starts laughing. He's like, I hate you. I hate you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, everyone else has like these really like ridiculous, like over the top, crazy background stories for their characters. I come in there like, yeah, I like dank memes, and like,
yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, let's bring bring it home now. You know, we're towards the end of the show here. Let's do some plugs here. What do you where can people find the new ORCumentary album?
So the new album is on every digital platform, you know, Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp. I got a lot of new merch. Let me see if I could actually, do I have any?
Ooh.
So I have like these cool new winter hats. They're embroidered. It's super warm. I've been wearing mine a lot, and nice. It is possibly the warmest winter hat I have.
Looks like you and I both can benefit with that hat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind. I like wearing hats. Yeah. But with the new album, there's also a deluxe CD version which has instrumental and commentary tracks as bonus tracks for almost all of the songs, and that's on my merch site, ORCumentary.bigcartel.com. And I think that's everywhere. Yeah, there's some videos on my YouTube channel. I've been pretty active on there lately, you know, putting videos up weekly or almost weekly. So yeah,
I've been following
where all that stuff is.
Yeah, good for you, man. What about Virus? I know you said that you guys are still working on an album, but where can people find Virus of Ideals?
Same thing. We have one EP right now that is that's on, you know, Spotify, all that stuff. Bandcamp. We also have a merch site which we're kind of depleted on merch right now, but this is a new thing at the moment, but by the time this episode airs, it won't be new. I got, by popular demand, we got Virus of Ideals patches. So
sick,
we've gotten a lot of requests for those. So by the time anybody sees this will be online. You know, nice. They'll be up for sale. I just haven't
available now.
I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, available now. But yeah.
Very cool, man. Is there anything else you want to plug before I do my plugs?
No. Oh, I do studio work, keyboards for bands.
I totally forgot to bring that up. I totally forgot to mention that, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You absolutely killed it on Epsion's song, Killing Doomsday, dude. I didn't know you did the keyboards on it until they mentioned you. Dude, awesome job, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, not too many of my gigs have actually seen the light of day, and that's definitely the most, like, I guess, like, professional output of a track that I've worked on. Like, you know, I think that's the first, like, music video that has had, you know, my keyboards on it. Yeah, that came out really cool.
Yeah, it sounds
I like to work with them again.
Yeah, definitely. Great bunch of guys. But yeah, definitely, if you guys haven't heard, like, the ads that I've been playing on the audio version, Epsion's track Killing Doomsday is out right now, and I'll throw you an ad too if you'd like. We'll talk off air about it, but yeah, definitely check it out. Sean's keyboards are on that song. But yeah, let's close this out. I'm gonna throw some show plugs. We'll talk offline a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening and subscribing. If you're watching on YouTube, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to get notified every time we drop a new video. If you're listening on audio, appreciate it. We're available on all the major podcast networks. If you're listening on Apple, please leave us a 5-star review if you could. I'd appreciate it. Leave a comment or something. I'll read it on the air too. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Roads We've Traveled Podcast to stay up to date with everything going on with the show. And now we're on Instagram and Twitter at RWT Pod. That's RWT Pod for Instagram and Twitter. We're also on Patreon, Patreon.com/roads we've traveled. If you want to become a patron today, I would appreciate it. It would help support the show. I pay out of pocket for all this stuff, and it gets kind of expensive, month by month. And now my my Adobe Creative Suite, I just got the notification, is going to be going up next month because fuck my life. So if you'd like to become a Patreon member, we got some exclusive perks. You be able to check out episodes early. You can ask me questions about the show if you'd like. And, you can also have your name shout out at the end of every episode. So if you want to become a member, patreon.com/roads we've traveled. I would appreciate it. We got merch on TeePublic. Just go to teepublic.com and, or you can just click the link below. I'll leave the link below for you to find it that way. As I was talking about in exhaustion earlier, that I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/JRBuckleGaming. I have been playing through Mass Effect like we were just talking about. Definitely hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And follow me. Check out my portfolio at www.alanmpelletierjr.com. All right, Sean, that's all the plugs I have. This was fun, man. It was great catching up with you, man. And I loved geeking out a little bit too, man. This is always a good time to talk about whatever, So thanks again for coming. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I don't get to talk to about this sort of thing. I don't get to talk to too many people about it these days. So it's always nice to get caught up and talk Mass Effect and Lord of the Rings and whatever.
I'm gonna have to bring you onto the league one day, because since we brought it back, because we're live streaming it now, like once a month or something like that. Scott just messaged me right now. He says he's trying to figure out his schedule so we can figure out another day. But yeah, I'd love to have you on the league one day. Again.
Yeah, definitely keep me posted.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you on the next episode.